They were once Hollywood icons, and then they vanished. What happened to these stars? A few left by choice, some were pushed out, while others vanished from the spotlight. Today, we're talking top 10 actresses who vanished. Actresses who you probably miss dearly. One of them is my absolute favorite. That's number 2. But number 1 is the most shocking and tragic one. So hang out for that one.
Hail to the king, baby.
Welcome to the party, pal. Your Philly neighborhood master of chaos here. Lovely to see you. We do have to begin at the beginning with number 10. Jessica Alba, the $1 billion pivot. I'm a Jessica Alba fan. You're a Jessica Alba fan. Who isn't a Jessica Alba fan? She was a megastar of the 2000s, appearing in films like Sin City, the Fantastic Four movies, as well as a TV show Dark Angel, which is meh. She was everywhere until she became a mother, and that changed her priorities real fast. Jessica Alba has become a businesswoman, and she now runs The Honest Company, which is a massive success, and no doubt you've seen their products in Target. They're probably everywhere. I just mostly see them at Target because that's where we shop the most. This is not sponsored by Target. Number 9, one of my favorite actresses of all time, and someone that doesn't really get her due, Linda Fiorentino. This critically acclaimed actress was beloved in the 90s. She was in films like The Last Seduction and Jade. Her last known credit is from 2009, and she has essentially disappeared. Number 8 is probably the youngest actress on this list currently, and that's Leelee Sobieski. Remember her? She hasn't been gone for long, and she certainly made an impact while she was here. Joyride is one of my favorite movies of hers. She was compared to Jodie Foster and Helen Hunt in their prime, and I think that's a fair comparison. We do know what happened with her. She has walked away entirely from acting, openly saying that Hollywood made her feel uncomfortable, and I completely get that. She's now living happily as a visual artist and has no desire to return to the limelight, but you never know what could happen in the future. 7. The amazing Bridget Fonda. I love Bridget Fonda. I'm a big fan. She's another actor that dominated the 90s. Single White Female, Jackie Brown, Point of No Return. She was fantastic, and she looked great on screen, and she had a really good, strong presence and certainly made herself known. However, after a car accident in 2003, her priorities shifted considerably. Despite being a part of the Fonda film family, she decided to fully retreat from public life. Rare sightings have ignited interest in her again, but it looks like she has no desire to return to Hollywood, and we don't know much more than that, but wherever she is, I wish her well. Number 6, one of my favorites, Karen Kopins, or Kopins, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but anyway, Karen was one of my favorites. She's in a ton of amazing stuff. Once Bitten, Jake Speed. She always had such a fun presence, a fun energy, and I was always happy to see her in my films. She always kind of ended up appearing in the stuff that I was really interested in anyway, and so I built a connection with her. And she's someone that you don't ever hear about anymore. Now, why is that? Well, she stepped away from acting in the early 90s after some TV work and has not been seen on screen since. It looks like she left the hubbub of Hollywood behind. She married, started a family, and decided to retreat into private life. She's rarely photographed and rarely interviewed. She doesn't really appear in those behind-the-scenes featurettes on Blu-rays discussing movies, so we don't really know much about her or her work, which is unfortunate, but she certainly embraced her private life. Karen's story is an example of someone who could have had a massive career but chose a different path and became a near-total Hollywood disappearance act. Number 5, Jami Gertz. This lost girl was last seen on screen in Twister. At least that's the last time I saw her in a big screen movie, but she went from breakout star to billionaire philanthropist. Her early career suggested long-term stardom, but she gradually started stepping away from acting in the early 2000s. She married into a major business family and decided to prioritize philanthropy and family over film work, but she does still occasionally work here and there. Her last credit as of the recording of this video was from 2022, so she's still keeping her toe in the game, but her story is certainly one of the biggest Hollywood transitions from actress to billionaire business personality. Number 4, Mia Sara, the fantastical muse who vanished. Mia Sara, oh my god, big fan, time cop, legend, obviously Ferris Bueller's Day Off. She is such a luminous figure on screen, but where did she go? In the early 2000s, she quietly left Hollywood to focus on poetry, literature, and private life. Her disappearance still fascinates fans because she gives very few interviews and almost no public appearances. Similar to Karen, the lovely Mia seemed destined for stardom but decided to choose another path, and that is sort of a running through line with all of these. Hollywood is tough. This isn't a very glamorous business. It's very difficult to be a creative person and try to make a living. So it's no surprise that people just say, you know what, screw this, I'm done. Number 3, Ariana Richards, from Jurassic Park to a quiet, artistic life. Oh, one of my favorite parts of Jurassic Park was Ariana Richards. I was a big fan. I can admit to having a crush. Yes, I was on the Lex train, and she blew up after that film. Not that she had much of a career, to be honest, based off of that movie, which is a shame, but she certainly left a legacy with that one main role. She worked steadily through the 90s and early 2000s, but completely stepped away from acting as an adult. She decided to dedicate herself to fine art and has become an award-winning painter, believe it or not, which is amazing because she could have painted one of those murals, you know, in Jurassic Park. Her career shift certainly stunned fans, and now she lives far away from Hollywood and gives very, very few interviews, if any. This is a case of a child star who walked away, and maybe it's because of that transition from child to adult. If you're known as a child, it's harder to get hired as an adult. That happens all the time. You do see that with child actors, so that may have influenced her decision. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I do know she did appear in an Asylum movie. She was in a movie called Battle Dogs, which I wasn't with the company at the time and I have not seen, so I can't speak toward its quality, but I could say 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon kind of thing. I sort of worked with her as well. Number 2 is my favorite. I told you it was gonna be. I was gonna save her for number 1, but number 1 is such a shocker that I said, let's end with a bang. But before we get to the bang, let's talk about Phoebe Cates, the 80s icon who chose normal life. Ah, Phoebe Cates, the ephemeral Phoebe Cates from such classic films as Paradise, Ridgemont High, Gremlins. You know Phoebe Cates, she is amazing. She was certainly a staple of 80s cinema. And in my mind, honestly, the quintessential 80s girl next door. Phoebe married actor Kevin Kline and decided to leave Hollywood to raise a family. It's basically a running theme in this video where the actresses have decided to leave the sort of Hollywood spotlight, fame and fortune type of thing and focus on their families, which is absolutely admirable stuff. Right now, currently, she runs a boutique store in New York that offers curated selections of high-end women's clothing, jewelry, and unique home goods known as Blue Tree. I'm gonna be in New York for Christmas, so I'm gonna try and track down Blue Tree and pop my head in. Not that I'm looking for any fancy women jewelry. Mistress Chaos doesn't necessarily want me to buy her $1,000 earrings, but if I do run into Phoebe Cates, I will probably drool all over myself. Number 1, are you ready for this? I wasn't. It's kind of a sad story, but we will delve into it just briefly here. Let's end the video with Sondra Locke, Hollywood's most tragic vanishing. This acclaimed actress and director, of course, is synonymous with Clint Eastwood. She made 6 movies with him. Her career basically took a nosedive after they broke up. Sondra Locke's career was skyrocketing. Throughout the late 60s, 70s, and early 80s, Locke built a solid reputation as an Academy Award-nominated actress, a respected director, and a prominent star in multiple Clint Eastwood films. But almost immediately after their breakup, Locke found herself turned down for casting she was perfect for, losing roles she was initially told she had secured, and unable to get meetings, auditions, or script deals. She blamed Eastwood and she ended up suing him for palimony and the destruction of her career. During the legal battle, she found out that Clint had quietly used his influence to block her career, interfere with her business opportunities, and undercut a directing deal that she had with Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers eventually admitted that they had no plans to actually develop her projects, and it was a sham agreement intended to appease Eastwood and make the lawsuit go away. Now, what this lawsuit did was expose the sort of hidden undercurrent of what a Hollywood blacklisting really looks like. Because it wasn't just Warner Brothers, it was an entire power industry that decided to shut her out. Locke settled out of court, but the damage couldn't be undone. Her career never recovered. We end this top 10 list of actresses who vanished with a Hollywood cautionary tale of power imbalances. Of course, Sondra will live on in cinema because cinema lives forever as long as people like you and I care about it. My friend, that's it. That'll do. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been an honor and a pleasure. If you haven't done so and you're new here, do consider subscribing so you and I can hang out again. Slam the thumbs up. It's your ticket to the show. It's highly appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly enjoyed bringing it to you. It's been a hoot. Did I forget anybody? Which actress here were you like, oh my God, I haven't thought about her in years. I've got to go watch one of her movies right now. Who did I leave off the list? Who would you like to see in a follow-up video? There's plenty, obviously, of Hollywood talent who's fallen by the wayside. This is just my top 10 list for, you know, off the top of my head of people that I've been thinking about. But I do have another list waiting in the wings. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments down below. You rock, you roll. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself. I love you just the way you are. Until we meet again, I'll see you at the movies.